Imagine being able to predict how much your customers will buy next week, next month, or even next year. This might sound like magic, but in reality, it's the result of a well-structured process called demand forecasting. In this video, we'll go step by step through the basics so even beginners can understand and start applying it in real-world situations. Demand forecasting is the process of estimating future customer demand for a product or service. The key word here is estimating. It's not random guessing. It's about using reliable data, market trends, and strategic insights to make predictions you can trust. This process is a critical part of supply chain management, helping businesses plan production, inventory, staffing, and even cash flow with greater accuracy. Think of demand forecasting as the GPS of your supply chain. Without it, you're driving blind. If you order too much inventory, you end up tying up capital, paying for extra storage, and in some cases, dealing with products that expire or become obsolete. If you order too little, you face stockouts, frustrated customers, and lost sales. A solid forecast keeps supply and demand in balance, allowing operations to run smoothly and customers to get what they need when they need it. When forecasts go wrong, the impact can be severe. Overstocking leads to wasted money, storage issues, and potential disposal costs. Understocking leads to empty shelves, disappointed customers, and missed revenue opportunities. For example, a clothing retailer that fails to predict seasonal trends might be stuck with unsold winter coats in March, products that will either be sold at a heavy discount or remain as dead stock. In today's competitive markets, accurate forecasting is not just helpful, it's essential for survival. There are two main categories of demand forecasting: qualitative and quantitative. Qualitative forecasting is based on opinions, market research, and expert judgment. It's especially useful when you don't have much historical data, such as when launching a new product or entering a new market. Quantitative forecasting, on the other hand, uses numerical data, statistical models, and sometimes artificial intelligence to detect patterns and make predictions. Let's start with qualitative methods. These include tools like customer surveys, focus groups, and the Delphi method, where a panel of experts makes independent forecasts and then discusses them until a consensus is reached. Imagine a tech company launching a brand new gadget. They can't rely on past sales because the product is new. Instead, they might interview potential buyers, ask for expert feedback, and use these insights to build an initial forecast. Quantitative methods are more data-driven. They look at historical sales numbers and identify trends. One simple approach is the moving average, which smooths out short-term fluctuations to highlight long-term patterns. Another is exponential smoothing, which gives more weight to recent data while still considering older trends. Regression analysis can also be used to find relationships between demand and external factors, like advertising spend or economic conditions. For example, an ice cream shop could use past sales data and local weather patterns to predict how much ice cream to produce in the summer months. But forecasting isn't just about picking a method and running the numbers. One of the biggest challenges is accounting for seasonality and shifting trends. Seasonality refers to predictable changes in demand based on time of year. For instance, holiday decorations peaking in December or gym memberships rising in January. Trends, on the other hand, are more fluid. They can be driven by cultural shifts, social media influence, or changes in technology. For example, a sudden viral post about a particular product can cause a spike in demand that traditional forecasting models might miss. This is where technology comes into play. Modern forecasting often uses advanced software that can process massive amounts of data quickly and accurately. Platforms like SAP IBP, Oracle Demantra, and AI-driven solutions like Kinaxis or O9 Solutions don't just create forecasts, they integrate with sales, inventory, and production systems to provide real-time insights. Some even run what-if simulations, allowing managers to test how different scenarios, like a price change or supply delay, might impact demand. The process of creating a forecast usually follows four main steps. First, you gather clean and reliable data from various sources: sales history, marketing campaigns, customer feedback, and market research. Second, you choose the most appropriate forecasting method based on the nature of your product and market conditions. Third, you run the forecast and analyze the results. Finally, you adjust the forecast to account for external factors, such as promotions, competitor activity, or unexpected events like weather disruptions or economic shifts. Unfortunately, many companies fall into common traps. Some rely too heavily on last year's sales numbers without adjusting for current market changes. Others ignore the valuable insights that sales and marketing teams can provide. And in some cases, forecasts are never reviewed after being created, meaning they quickly become outdated and less accurate. The solution? Treat forecasting as a continuous process. Review and adjust regularly to stay aligned with reality. To achieve high accuracy, best practices suggest combining quantitative data with qualitative insights. This means using hard numbers, but also listening to the people who interact with customers daily. Involving cross-functional teams, sales, marketing, operations, and even finance creates a more complete picture. It's also important to review forecasts on a set schedule, such as monthly or quarterly, and compare them to actual sales to measure accuracy and learn from mistakes. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine a grocery chain planning weekly orders for fresh produce. By analyzing past sales, weather forecasts, and local event schedules, they can fine-tune their orders to match demand almost perfectly. If they know a hot wave is coming, they might increase orders for bottled water, ice cream, and fresh fruit. This not only keeps customers satisfied, but also reduces waste from unsold goods. Looking ahead, the future of demand forecasting is becoming increasingly automated and intelligent. AI and machine learning algorithms can detect subtle patterns in data that human analysts might overlook. These systems can adapt quickly to new information, adjusting forecasts in real time as market conditions shift. For example, an AI-driven model could detect a sudden increase in social media mentions for a product and instantly raise the demand forecast before the spike hits stores. But while technology is a powerful tool, it's important to remember that forecasting will always benefit from human oversight. Data can tell us what is likely to happen, but people bring context, creativity, and strategic thinking to the table. The most successful companies use a blend of automation and human expertise to achieve the best results. In summary, demand forecasting is much more than a spreadsheet exercise. It's a strategic process that touches every part of a business, from procurement and production to marketing and customer service. By mastering the basics, continuously improving your methods, and embracing both technology and teamwork, you can reduce costs, increase efficiency, and delight your customers. If you're serious about improving your supply chain performance, start practicing demand forecasting today. The sooner you begin, the more data and insights you'll have to refine your predictions. Subscribe for more videos like this and explore powerful tools and resources at supplychainexcel.gumroad.com.